I could think of a lot of funny things I've done, but we won't go into all that. Don't ask any stupid questions. I'm not going to answer anymore.
What's stupid?
What a surprise.
Yeah.
We're going back pretty far, and I'm getting old. I can't remember all
Yeah.
that. But you know, today there's so much more ways that you could look back and see your folks, and that with the photography, both moving and still. We never had many pictures. Now my mother's father died when she was 8 years old, and we have one picture that I know of that was him. So but today most people have probably a lot of history on there with video and stuff, which is really nice. I mean, you think of a movie star or something like Frank Sinatra or John Wayne, where you know, the children are, as adults, can go back and look at their parents talking and, or, you know, speaking and acting, and something that we never, you know, had the opportunity to do. Just kind of like right now with what we're doing.
Bellwood is the town that I was raised in and your dad was raised in.
I actually was a pretty good kid when I grew up, and I never got in any trouble.
I didn't normally do the normal stuff most kids do when they go to school. I worked 3 nights a week, and I had music 2 nights a week. And sometimes I worked Saturdays, so I was just gone all the time, or working, or, you know, whatever, all the time.
Well, my dad was an auto mechanic when he started, and ended up as a machinist. And he retired from Goss Printing Press Company. Before that, he worked for Dixie Cup Company. Used to maintain and keep the machines running for the people that ran them.
Well, my mother had, I think there were 5 kids in her family. And, of course, one lived in Kansas, one in California. My mom and then my aunt lived in Calumet City. My aunt had 7 kids. So it was a big family.
I think my mother worked days, but my father probably worked nights during that period.
Now, my dad's side, we didn't see that much of them, but, you know, I knew who they all were.
My mother, like I said before, worked for Western Electric Company for years. And we lived during World War II, and most women did work at the time. My dad worked in a defense plant, you know, as a machinist.
Nana lived with my mom and dad for about 7 years. She was a real stinker. She liked to drink. And I know after she left, after she moved, they had like a crawl space up to the attic, and they found tequila bottles in there. And she used to walk up to the liquor store, and she'd have her shorts on, and her garters would hang up lower than her shorts. Uh-huh. I mean, I'd be so embarrassed when I was young to see that, you know. And she'd come home with a newspaper rolled up, and there would be a liquor bottle inside the newspaper.
Right.
And she locked my dad out of the house several times. She told him to get out
Of his own house.
of his own house. Yeah, she came to, I think, Thanksgiving dinner and stayed for 7 years.
My sister died at a young age. She had epilepsy, and in fact, it's been over 50 years since she passed away.
My grandfather died when I was about 10 years old, so I don't remember too much about him. I remember he'd sit at his little desk and play solitaire and smoke cigarettes and eat that hard rock candy or crystal. It looked like crystal. Mm-hmm. He'd eat that. He'd always have that. And flick his butts on the floor, mm-hmm. on the carpet.
Was he nice?
Yeah, I liked him a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, my dad lived to be 86 and a half, which is pretty good. I wasn't prepared for some things that happened. And my folks and I had a very good relationship, never had any problems. You know, we all got along fine. fact, you know, things I've seen in the past, not necessarily in our family, but in other families with fighting and, you know, I never experienced anything like that. We always did things together. I enjoyed them. They enjoyed me, I'm sure.
The accordion? Lessons in band and that kind of thing?
They had accordion in the band?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't think they do anymore.
I had a cousin who I really looked up to, and she played it, and she was really good. She was maybe 4 years older than I was. And at that time, a lot of kids played the accordion, so
A lot of kids did?
yeah, I think I started playing it when I was 7. You go to heaven, they give you your harp. You go to hell, they give you your accordion.
No.